Jay-Z's legal team is pulling out all the stops in what is quickly becoming one of the most closely watched legal battles of the year. The allegations against the music mogul are heavy, with claims that he assaulted a 13-year-old girl, referred to as Jane Doe, at an after-party hosted by Sean P. Diddy Combs back in 2000. While the charges are undeniably serious, the defense's response has been just as intense, flooding the courts with motions that could double as a stack of bedtime reading for insomniac lawyers. With accusations spanning decades and involving high-profile celebrities, this case is no less dramatic than a Netflix legal thriller, and Jay-Z's team is clearly aiming for a plot twist. Allegations unveiled. What began as a vague and anonymous lawsuit quickly morphed into a scandal involving two of the biggest names in the music industry. Jane Doe initially filed her suit listing a mysterious Celebrity A as her alleged assailant, later revising it to name Jay-Z directly. She alleges that the assault occurred during an after-party for the MTV Video Music Awards at a mansion that would make an MTV Cribs episode look modest. According to Jane Doe, the party was anything but glamorous, claiming she was coerced into signing a non-disclosure agreement before being handed a suspicious drink that tasted like it had been mixed by someone with a vendetta against taste buds. Her claims are chilling, but the story's evolution, changing from vague allegations to specific accusations, has raised eyebrows on both sides of the courtroom. The timeline and key details. Jane Doe alleges that the assault happened in September 2000, when she was just 13 years old. She says she was invited to the party by Diddy's limo driver, who apparently moonlighted as a talent scout for questionable activities. Upon arrival, she recalls being handed a drink that tasted like cranberry juice, but with a twist of something unsettling, kind of like your first sip of cheap wine. Feeling woozy, she retreated to a room, only to be followed by multiple celebrities, including Jay-Z, who she accuses of assaulting her. The narrative takes a dramatic turn as she describes escaping to a gas station, where her father allegedly picked her up. However, this critical detail has been hotly contested, with her father denying any memory of such a night. If true, it's a heart-wrenching story. If not, it's a plot twist no one saw coming. Jane Doe's public statements and inconsistencies. When Jane Doe appeared on national television in December 2024 to discuss the allegations, things got even murkier. She claimed to have chatted with Benji Madden from Good Charlotte that night, bonding over his Last Supper tattoo, only for Madden to confirm he was halfway across the country at the time. It's a detail that's almost comically specific and, unfortunately for Jane Doe, easily debunked. Add to this her father's statement that he has no memory of picking her up that night, and the inconsistencies start stacking up like a game of legal Jenga. Of course, trauma can distort memories, but as Jay-Z's team is quick to point out, these gaps make it harder to present a watertight case. Even Jane Doe herself has admitted to making mistakes in identifying key details, which is like handing the defense a shiny new hammer to chip away at her story. Legal challenges, statute of limitations, and jurisdiction. Jay-Z's lawyers have zeroed in on the technicalities of the case, and let's be honest, if there's one thing lawyers love more than coffee, it's a good loophole. They've argued that the allegations fall outside the statute of limitations, defined by the Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act, which wasn't enacted until December 2000, 3 months after the alleged incident. Retroactive application of laws is a legal no-go, making this a potentially fatal blow to Jane Doe's case. Furthermore, the defense has pointed out that the party allegedly took place outside New York City's jurisdiction, adding another layer of complication. If the mansion was, in fact, located outside city limits, it's a bit like accusing someone of jaywalking in a town where jaywalking isn't even illegal. These arguments, while technical, could be decisive. Legal defense strategy. Aggressive but risky. Jay-Z's legal team is clearly not holding back, filing motion after motion like it's a legal arms race. While this aggressive strategy might play well with their client, it's starting to rub the judge the wrong way. Judges, after all, are not big fans of being bombarded with paperwork that could rival a Game of Thrones script in length. Criminal defense attorney Serena Townsend noted that while aggressive tactics can work in some cases, there's a fine line between assertive lawyering and irritating the person who controls the courtroom. It's like trying to win over your boss by sending them 300 emails in one day, she quipped. The judge has already admonished the defense for what she described as an excessive litany of motions, a warning that could impact the proceedings if the team doesn't dial it back. Credibility and trauma in question. One of the most contentious aspects of this case is Jane Doe's credibility. On one hand, inconsistencies in her story, like the Benji Madden anecdote, and her father's denial, are undeniably problematic. On the other hand, experts in trauma often point out that memory can be unreliable, particularly in cases involving sexual assault. Jane Doe's legal team will likely argue that her fragmented recollection is a symptom of trauma rather than deceit, a claim they'll need to support with expert testimony. However, as Townsend explained, juries are often swayed by credibility above all else. You could have the most compelling case in the world, but if the jury doesn't trust the plaintiff, it's game over, she said. It's a harsh reality, but one that underscores the stakes in this case: Jane Doe's anonymity and the defense's challenges. For now, Jane Doe remains anonymous, a decision the defense has fiercely contested. Jay-Z's team argues that knowing her identity is crucial for preparing their case, from cross-examining her claims to identifying potential witnesses. While the judge has upheld her anonymity for the time being, it's a decision that could change as the case progresses. Townsend explained that this balance between protecting victims and ensuring a fair defense is one of the trickiest aspects of cases like these. It's like trying to balance a seesaw with one person wearing a backpack full of bricks, she joked. Ultimately, if the case goes to trial, Jane Doe's identity will almost certainly be revealed, a step that could have significant implications for both sides. Potential implications for Jay-Z and P. Diddy. While this is Jay-Z's only current legal battle of this nature, P. Diddy has a laundry list of lawsuits to contend with, making him a frequent flyer in civil court. The high-profile nature of this case could encourage others to come forward, a phenomenon often seen in cases involving powerful figures. While some may view this as a step toward justice, critics argue that it opens the door for false claims motivated by financial gain. It's a polarizing issue, but one that highlights the complexities of navigating high-stakes legal battles in the public eye. For Jay-Z, the stakes are particularly high not just for his reputation, but for his legacy as one of the most influential figures in music. A battle of credibility. As this case unfolds, the central question remains: can Jane Doe overcome the inconsistencies in her story to present a credible case? With Jay-Z's team scrutinizing every detail and leveraging every legal technicality, the road ahead is undeniably steep. However, the inclusion of expert testimony on trauma and memory could provide a lifeline for Jane Doe's team, offering jurors an explanation for the gaps in her narrative. Whether this will be enough to tip the scales remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: this case is far from over, and the outcome will likely hinge on the credibility of the plaintiff and the skill of the attorneys involved. And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into one of the most controversial legal battles of the year. What do you think about the allegations, the defense strategies, and all the courtroom drama? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We're here to keep you informed, entertained, and always a little curious. See you in the next one.